welcome back everyone, welcome back to the second half of the broadcast. We just wrapped up all of the initial qualifying matches, but now we are here with the seeding matches to determine who will make it through and make it straight into group stage 2 of season 2 of GSL. Here we go. We do have our initial PvT. We have a spicy one here. One match that we did not get in season 1, herO versus Maru. Let's go. We're jumping on in. Again, herO, of course, he is the reigning GSL champion. He is currently dubbed as the best player in South Korea. Maru used to hold that mantle. Not anymore. Not anymore. Here we'll see if Maru can take it back. Let's jump into our best of 3. Now, as a reminder, Maru, he has been a little bit out of practice. We mentioned this at the end of the season 1 cast and coverage, how right now the question becomes, how is Maru looking a week later getting ready for Dallas? Because Maru, he did take a long break. He did take a long break from StarCraft. It is known that he took the off-season off, quite literally, referring to January, February, March. He did take time off away from StarCraft. Now he's back, of course, coming into new season of EWC, but Maru, he's still shaking off all that rust, and we'll see how he compares to the current champion. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the South Korean Terran player, the blue Terran representing Team Vitality. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Here we go. Maru washed. Ah, no. Rainer's dad asked him to clean the car. So, how did that tweet go? Not like this. What is it? My dad asked me to clean the car. He looked at me and he smiled and nodded. He knew I was washed. Something like that. Oh no, not like this. For now that we're settling in, we have a gate expand here. Standard opener out of herO. Likewise, Maru back at home going for his own double gas opener as well. Now, if you know anything about Maru, if you know anything about his matches in GSL, you would know that he has been doing one thing and one thing only in TVP, 2 base all-ins. He's been going for a lot of 2 base all-ins, very similar to Kira actually, very similar. But Maru, he was hyper aggressive in the most recent season of GSL, in the qualifiers and in the main season as well, non-stop all-ins. That is why I was posing the question here, is that does this trend continue for Maru coming into DreamHack Dallas as well, and coming into the GSL Season 2 qualifiers? What I will say, we already covered Maru's matches earlier when it came to the qualifying matches, and Maru, he was still going for all-ins. He was still just going for non-stop all-ins. He was still just doubling down. And again, we'll see if that trend continues. As earlier we did cover Maru, I say that, my apologies. That is not the case actually in regards to his TVT. So my apologies, did misspeak. Maru, he was not going for all-ins against Beyond. That TVT between Maru and Beyond honestly was a banger. Like the TVT was honestly really, really good and really back and forth. It was very intense between Maru and Beyond. So I will say that Maru's TVT is looking pretty on point, pretty on top of things. But you could argue that, I mean, is that really going to matter coming into Dallas if Clem isn't playing Terran, right? If Clem is playing Protoss, like I had to. So some of the other matchups might be a little bit more important. Regardless, we're settling it. CC on the high ground, 1-1-1 setup here, going for the Widowmine first into Mine Drop. We do have the Tech Lab follow-up here out of Maru, but it is Mine first. From here we can go into Cyclone, we can go into Tank, we can go into an add-on swap. Medevac is going to be on the way, and we'll see what Maru makes first here, the Cyclone or the Tank. Our eyes are on Maru. And it is early tank. Okay, hyper aggressive here from Maru. Is going for early tank production. And it's going to be on herO to confirm. herO, he's moving out with the hallucination. Ideally, Maru wants to try to catch hallucination with the Widowmine. Hallucination moves in. Does get eyes on the CC. It does get eyes on the 1-1-1. And does spot the Tech Lab on the factory. Is aware. Behind this, playing safe. Gas guys are at the natural. Robo as well. Very safe play here out of herO, going 3 gates blink into a Robo. Shield battery's already done. He's secure in 2 bases. Maru boosting in. Toss boost into natural, just trying to buy some time, just trying to get some scanning information, distracting herO. We'll pick up, we'll save. What's important though is the tank is done and we should soon be pushing. Here we go. Yeah, we have the early push, the early move out. Again, the early tank did scream aggression, so Maru, he is committing, hyper aggressive here, and this has to get damage. But remember, herO, he's playing it safe. He has extra gateways, he has the robo now done. Observer first, hallucination moves out. herO, he will spot this. Yeah, he spots the push. Does spot the push. Is aware of the early timing. herO in position to delay. He's got force fields. Maru making his way towards the third base. Is getting within range. Again, this third base was greedy for herO. That's a kill, not a cancel. Takes down the pylon. herO blinks in. Ooh, does take a matchup to the face, but he does take down the tank. Yeah, the tank goes down. Remember, these are vanilla Marines. The backbone of the army was the tank, but here we go. A second tank has arrived. Nice wing control. Sentry, ooh, does survive. And Maru, he's a little bit too far back. Yeah, it's too far back. herO, he's looking for the dive. He blinks in. One more volley, and he gets it. The tank goes down once again, and herO holds. herO, he holds. This army does not have enough firepower. He's down to what? 4 Marines, down to 3, down to 2 Marines. And herO holds. He shuts this down, and Maru, he falls behind. This was very dedicated. Again, this was a borderline 2-base all-in. I say borderline because, yes, he is making SCVs. Yes, he is macroing behind this, but he was so dedicated. That was 2 tanks and a medevac. And 2 Vikings, and here comes the counterattack. herO, he has momentum. There's no bunker to defend. There's 1 Marine and 1 tank, and herO, he can just dive in. He can just dive on the tank, and if he does, he will break the natural. There it is. There's a dive. Tank goes down. Massive pickup. There's nothing left. Now the middle line is exposed. Again, that move up from herO, sorry, that move up from Maru had to do more damage. Force field on the ramp, zones away the tank. I mean, it might have even been worth just allowing the tank to move in, just to focus it down. But regardless, here he has control of the natural. There's a dive. Takes down another tank. It's going to be the 3rd tank going down. herO, he doesn't quite have enough soldiers to keep going. Has to pull away. 13. That's crazy. That's bold. that's ambitious, papi. Ay, ay, ay. 3rd CC in the face of herO. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. Whew, GG. GG, well played. Again, like borderline all in, just hyper committed play there by Maru. With moving out with his early tanks, he had to at least deny the 3rd base. At least break the 3rd and trade with the army. But remember, herO was playing safe. We tried to emphasize that. herO, he went for a 3-gate setup, gas at the natural, robo, all before the 3rd base. All before the 3rd, so herO playing very safe. He had plenty of army to work with. More importantly, he saw the move out with the hallucination. He saw the opener with the hallucinations. He saw everything with hallucinations. So herO, he scattered everything he needed to, and he shut it down. GG. GG, well played. Solid play there by herO, and we'll see if Maru can recover, bounce back, and force the ace match. Let's go. As we are getting into game number 2. Here we go, and spawning into the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Vitality down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Maru. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss representing Twisted Minds, leading the series 1-0. Again, the current reigning GSL champion. It is herO. On the weekend, my dad asked me to wash his greasy old car, and later that day, he asked me if I washed his car, and I replied, "Oh, Maru," and I knew it was washed. Oh, no. I was making a joke earlier. Maru, he's not washed by any means, but I mentioned before, like, there's a reason for, I would say, Maru's current performances. For those that are maybe unaware, for those who haven't been tuning into our broadcast, Maru, he did take time off. He did take the off-season seriously, in the sense that he just stepped away from the game during the off season. On top of that, Maru, he was also getting ready for military service. It was announced back in April that Maru, he had registered for military service. He was ready to go. Again, if you've listened to the stream, you would have heard this already. But Maru, he was not called upon, and for 3 years in a row, it was revealed that Maru, he was registered, he was ready for the military, but he was not called upon by the administration. So Maru has confirmed that he has concluded technically his military service. The law in Korea is if 3 years pass and if the administration doesn't call upon you, then technically you don't have to worry about it anymore. So Maru, he has concluded officially his military service. He doesn't have to worry about it anymore. But the speculation is because he was signed up, he was expecting to go. That's why, like Maru, he wasn't playing as much StarCraft. He was probably just, you know, a little bit anxious about, you know, what was going to happen with military. It was after April that it was confirmed that he doesn't have to worry about that anymore, and now he can focus on StarCraft. So he has been focusing, he has been devoting, but again, did take some time off, and we'll see how Maru is able to catch up in terms of skill and keep up with everyone else who has been playing actively this entire time, right? The problem here is that players like herO, players like herO, Raynor, Clem, MaxPax, they've all been grinding even during the off season, so Maru has some catching up to do. Here we go. So now we are setting up. Players like Maru and Raynor, they'll get back in form right away. Yeah, for sure. Like, I don't think it's going to take much time at all. The question becomes, like, when does Maru peak? Like, does he peak in time for Dallas, or does he peak in time for GSL Season 2, right? So that we do have our Twilight Council opener out of herO. Do you have our Twilight Council? Behind this, we have Maru going for a early second Rax. Interesting. Second Rax has been thrown down. herO does confirm, and we are waiting to see a third Rax. If we see a third Rax before Starport, 2-base all in. So we're waiting for the third Rax. Likewise, so is herO. Early Cyclone is revealed. We'll shut down the hallucination. Back at him, herO going for standard opener, going for his Twilight Council initially. Save the shield out of it, the natural. Oh my god, going up to 4-gate blink. Okay, 4-gate blink stalker out of herO, much more aggressive this time. Sorry, my apologies. I said 4-gate blink. 4 gates and going into charge, not blink stalker. Very interesting. And we have the answer. What do you see? Third Rax, 2-base all in. So Maru, he's setting up for a 2-base all in here. He is hyper fixated on building up his bio. Here he scouts, he confirms the third Rax. He's aware of what's going on. He's aware that Maru is going for an earlier sim timing. He's going to be pushing out with around 3 tanks with a heavy bio army before Starport, before any kind of Metarex. +1 is going to be hitting alongside this all in as well. So very dedicated play by Maru. But the response from herO is almost a hard counter. If you know anything about PvT, you would know that Blink Stalkers are a good way to gain map control, to deny vision, deny scouting, deny drop play, and to get into a longer game state. And 3-gate Blink can be really safe, as we saw last game. Charge, this is designed to punish early tank pushes and early bio pushes as well. Zealous, they trade so efficiently. They do such a great job at pouncing on an army, pouncing on a tank as well. We're building up a massive wave of charge lots, and herO is expecting a move out. Typically, a charge opener like this is really bad if Maru's playing standard. If Maru's defending on 2 bases, getting a 3rd CC, and slowly expanding, then the Zealots do nothing. But if Maru's pushing into the Protoss, that's where this army excels. Likewise, no bunker, right? Why would there be? You know, Maru's going to be the aggressor, so there's no bunker on the low ground. I don't think herO has to push into this, but I mean, it's herO. He's going for it. Okay, let's go. He does commit. Boys are being pulled. herO, I feel like he's overextending here. He doesn't need to be here. Yeah, and herO, he'll lose Zealots. And Zealots, they all go down. This was not worth it for herO. I was praising herO, being like, yeah, if Maru pushes into him, he's going to be fine. herO pushes into Maru. That is not fine. So, herO, he overextends. He bleeds out all the Zealots. Now, thankfully, I believe he doesn't lose any Stalkers. Yeah, he doesn't lose any Stalkers. That was not worth it for herO. He also shows his hand. Now, Maru is aware of charge. Now he knows what he's moving into. From here, herO expands. Behind this, getting safety Immortals. Meanwhile, the upgrades are still not yet done. We're getting to Stim, Combat Shields, a +1. The upgrades are about to kick in, and Maru's about to push. And after winning that fight, after killing all those Zealots, we'll see how much confidence he has when it comes to this move out, as he only makes 2 tanks. Ooh, never mind. Only 2 tanks. So he might not pull the boys with this. We'll see. I was expecting like getting up to 3 tanks maybe, building up a greater army. Here comes the Unsiege. Eyes are on Maru. He is moving out. Scans ahead of time. Hallucination confirms that the boys are still back at home. We're not pulling the boys. At least not yet. See Maru here in the center of the map, trying to catch out the army. Here is buying time for Colossus, getting his third base up and running. As you can see, Maru being so careful here, slowly leapfrogging forward. As he does rotate. He's going to be rotating. Viking production has begun. And from here, does Maru expand? Does he go for a third CC? He goes back into tank production. Okay. This means he's more dedicated. He's going back into tanks. He scans. He saw the Colossus. There we go. He does pull a couple of boys. Not too many, but the boys are being pulled. And Maru, he will commit. And we'll see if herO can slow this down. herO spots the army. Does move into intercept. Tanks do siege. Oh, nice punish. And tanks, they punish the army. 2 volleys going up. Again, Maru so quick to siege up those tanks. Pushing forward. herO trying to set up. As herO, he's on triple Colossus. Can he get on top of those tanks? Chargers, they dive in. Mind shots, they shut down the Zealots. Nice mind connections. And the Colossus, they're trying to break trying to break their way through. First Colossus does go down. Yeah, and Maru, he has enough. He has enough. He breaks through this. And again, this is a later 2-base all-in. There was less urgency here. Remember, there's no expansion behind this. Maru, he is completely all-in on 2 bases. But herO, he did misread the early game. Like, threw away all those Zealots early on. herO, he needs more warpins. He needs a little bit more time. Remember, the longer this game goes on, the better it is for herO. herO, he's up 20 workers. Like, he has a better economy. He will have extra warpins. The bay is under fire. Bunkers on the way. As herO committing in, takes down one of the bunkers. This time there's no Widow Mines. Yeah, this time no mines. Colossus under fire. Another one almost goes down. Where's the anti-air? Rough positioning there from herO. Colossus does fall. Down to 1. Yeah, 1 Colossus left. And Maru, he breaks through. He breaks through the natural. Depowers the robo. The boys are being pulled, but it does feel too late. Colossus taking a lot of hits from those tanks. And the Colossus does go down. And Maru, I think he's done it. At this one, he has done it. He has broken through. He does shut down the main army. Depowers the robo. We're down to what? We're down to a handful of stalkers. Again, a much more slower, methodical approach to this all-in. Let's push through. This Dark Shrine is too late. The Dark Shrine is too late. This it's far too late here for herO. DTs are a really good way to punish 2-base all-ins because scans are limited, but we needed that earlier. Had to be earlier here. Maru is pushing in, takes down the robo, and there's just no answer. There's no answer to this army. There's no immortals, limited charge lots. Robo is being rebuilt, and here he wasn't able to engage ahead of time either. He tried to, but Maru, he was so quick to siege up his tanks. As Zealots coming from behind. It's a decent engage out of herO, but he just doesn't have the numbers. He doesn't have the numbers, doesn't have the supply. Takes down the tank. 2 tanks left. And GG gets called. Maru, he breaks through and he ties up the series 1-1. We're going to the ace match. Whew. GG. Again, a very intense game here. I was a little bit concerned in the early game because herO saw everything, but then herO decided to push up the ramp, which was crazy. It doesn't sound like a lot to lose 6 Zealots early on, but we mentioned it. The problem there wasn't just that he lost 6 Zealots, it was that he showed his hand. I'm pretty sure the reason why Maru was later when it came to his push, and it was delayed. Like, typically you want to hit just as stim and plus on a finishing, but Maru waited. And I'm pretty sure he waited because he was aware that charge was done now, and that Zealots were waiting for him. So he took a little bit of a slower approach. He built up his army. He was more careful with his scans, and he was able to build up and then move out with Widow Mines, with tanks, with Vikings as well. Again, a later push out of Maru. but much more successful as a result. Likewise, here, if he had those extra zealots as well, he would have been able to engage earlier ahead of time out on the map. Different dynamic, different game. GG. GG, well played. herO getting too excited, baby. Oh my god. Was a bit premature there. And now we're getting into game number 3, the ace match. One way or another, the series ends here and now. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Tokamak, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Vitality, tying up the series 1-1 and forcing the ace match. It is Maru. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, the red Protoss representing Twisted Minds. It is herO. Here we go. We are going to be settling in. Again, herO just getting too excited in that last game. Maru likewise taking a more slower, methodical approach after realizing what was happening. And the question becomes, Maru, does he commit on 2 bases again? Again, like Maru has been very aggressive and very all-in, both in game 1 and in game 2. We'll see if that continues coming into the ace match as we load into Tokamak, one of the larger macro maps in the map pool. Is one of the larger maps. Likewise, more defendable as well. We often see a lot of longer games here on Tokamak. So I'm not too fond of either playing being too aggressive on this map. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on herO and Maru. As Maru, for the first time this series, single gas opener, ranks expand out of Maru, economic start. And again, this makes more sense on Tokamak to have a more standard opener, but we'll see what the follow-up is going to be. Likewise, herO going Zealot first. I mean, this does make sense. So basically, herO, he's assuming, and I mean, he's scouted the single gas. The reason for going for the Zealot is that you're assuming that your opponent is going for an economic opener, and you're assuming that your opponent has a CC on the low ground. The Zealot is moving out to delay the CC. As we can see, the command center is on the high ground instead. The command center is safe, and the Zealot shouldn't get much done. So economic but safe opener here out of Maru. The command center should be able to finish up. herO is moving in, and there's not much for it to get done. As herO does scouts, he confirms, oh, no CC on the low ground. Now poking up the ramp. From here, he can deny some mining time and force an SCV down, but nah, there's a Marine. And with that, Maru is safe. Maru is safe and sound. For the time being. Again, herO nibbling away at that wall. Just applying some pressure. Behind this, robo opener out of herO. Very safe play. Okay. You have my attention. We often see this from players like Creator. It's a bit of a rarer sight from herO. Ooh, as the wall is down and the army does get in. Uh-oh. Yeah, herO does poke up the ramp, but he doesn't really have enough. He backs off. Doesn't want to lose the army. Doesn't want to get locked in. Like, the worst thing for herO is to go past his depot, then the depot raises behind the army, then he's trapped. Like, he doesn't want to lose his army. Just delaying the CC. As Zealot is started down, likewise takes down the Widow Mine and the Hellion. Not bad. And with that, mining is being denied in low ground. Nice control here out of herO. Nice target firing. Maru going for his drop. Now, when I say safe opener, typically there are a couple different tech ways or tech structures you can go for here in TVP. It is either Twilight Council, Robo, or Stargates. Meanwhile, the depot goes down. He busts in. Uh-oh. And Maru's across the map. Maru, he's across the map. There's nothing to defend. There's nothing here. There's 2 Marines. Only 2 Marines. Tankers on the way. Boys are being pulled. SCV's going to be going out. This is brutal damage. Back at home here. He's ready. He has 2 Stalkers. No shield battery. There's a recall. Yeah, it does recall back home. Here he does defend. How many SCVs does he kill? 2. Okay, only 2. 2 SCVs. The depot. It was good damage out of herO. Things were getting out of hand. But Maru defends. Oh boy, Maru, he does defend. Now getting back into our openers here, a river opener allows you to open up with the faster immortal, faster observer, or faster warp prism. It does mean that your twilight council and your blink is delayed. So delayed blink, delayed charge, delayed upgrades here for herO. He can be aggressive and assertive with this prism, that is true. And again, observers are on the way. So herO is still applying some pressure here with some vanilla stalkers. Again, bearing in mind he has no blink, but he can poke in and try to get some SCV kills. Maru getting in position. I'm sure he heard the observer. herO gets in. Nicely done. Getting one, getting two SCVs. 2, 3, 4 SCVs gonna be going down, getting it to 5. Oh my god. Not bad. That's damage here from herO. Takes down 8 workers in total, dropping back into the natural. Behind this, Maru is going for Banshee play. Getting into Banshees, they are cloaked. And Maru, he breaks out. He's getting a 4th tank. Oh my god, very dedicated. Yeah, the boys are being pulled. 2 base all in out of Maru. Yet he doesn't stop tank production. He's committing, he's rallying. Banshees as well. herO, he spots the all in. Oh. And herO, does he have anything ready for this? He does have an immortal. Okay, does have an immortal. Ooh, no sentries, no force fields. Shield batteries are on the way. herO, he does at least spot this, but can he stop it? As Maru, he's still rallying across the map. herO, he attempted to expand. Is no third. Actually shut down the shield battery. Again, that's 3 tanks. And without blink, without charge, breaking this position is going to be difficult. See here, trying to catch reinforcements. As another tank is rallying in. Tanks, they get within range of another shield battery. Shield battery goes down. Here he does get a free tank. But bunkers are on the way. And more boys are being pulled. There's nothing left. There's nothing here back at home. And Maru, he's completely all in. And he's so close to breaking herO. Depowers one of the gateways. Supply block! No! herO, he's supply block. He can't make anything. No warp-ins. No immortal. Nice control here. herO catches some SCVs. But here he needs those pylons. He needs to break out of the supply block. As another tank does rally forward. herO, he should catch it. Going for feedbacks. herO collapsing in. He's going for the tanks. He's trying to. Does target one down. He gets one so far. Bunkers are not yet done. Nice concave out of herO. And not enough Marines, not enough Bio. Oh, but the tanks, they stand their ground. There's still 3 tanks left. And that position is just brutal. But here, he's up to 4 immortals. He's going in. He's going in for the tanks. He gets 1. There's 2 tanks left. And here he holds. He holds. He shuts us down. Ooh, again, a very tense hold. And the 1 immortal does fall. But herO has enough. herO, he should have enough. GG gets called. herO, he shuts down the all-in. And herO will take the series 2-1, advancing on into Group Stage 2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. herO, he does shut down the all-in. Very, very intense is what I will say. herO, thankfully, he was catching reinforcements as they were moving out across the map, so he was able to slow Maru down at least somewhat. Likewise, towards the end, I want to say herO, he had like up to 5 immortals. Like, he had a very heavy immortal count, and immortals that built to bust tanks and bust bunkers as well. Like, they're built for that sort of thing. So with that, he was able to break through that siege line and end the all-in. GG. GG, well played. herO, he will make it through to Group Stage 2. Now, do not fret if you're a Maru fan. He's still in GSL. Remember, these are not qualifying matches. These are seeding matches. Everyone that's playing in these matches, they're already in GSL. This is just a way to skip the first round, to skip an entire week worth of GSL. So herO, he's going to be in Group Stage 2. Maru will be in Group Stage 1. Will be in Group Stage 1. Oh, actually, about my apologies. I say that. I'm getting ahead of myself because herO, he does make it through to the next stage. Maru has another chance. True. Maru, he has another chance. He has another opportunity here. Up next, we have Maru versus who? Maru versus Gumiho. Oh boy.